I'm gonna probably tweak the weights a little bit for everyone.
Okay.
I don't know, unless you guys want to go heavy, and it's just the only thing is you're gonna get a shorter rest if you don't finish at the same time. If that makes sense.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, because we're going right into something else.
Well,
Every 30 minutes.
my goal is to try to do every 30
Like
minutes.
a power hour.
Well, that one's a
Power hour.
For 2.5 hours.
I love that.
How long is
I'm
the first one
excited.
So last year at the CrossFit Games, I took 11th. It was not the placing that I expected or wanted. And after the weekend was all over, we were out with our family and friends, and we were celebrating, and it just didn't feel like the ending that I wanted. And I was a little bummed out and really just unsure of like what the next year was going to look like. And no one wants to be thinking about the next CrossFit Games right as one's ending. But of course I was, and I was evaluating every little piece of the weekend.
I think what a lot of people don't see is that CrossFit is not just physically demanding on people. It is very much a mental beating. And I see that throughout the games. Every year he's been there, it's been just like a mental battle during, and then even the aftermath. Once the week is done, he's constantly going through the leaderboard, and it's like, if I would have done this, or if this would have happened, I would have been on the podium. And it's very mentally taxing for him, to where at sometimes it doesn't seem like it's enjoyable or fun for him, and it's a job that he struggles with.
My friends and my family, they were proud of me, and the expectations is always comes from me, and then they just support me no matter what. And it's just like unconditional love from our squad, which is amazing. And we finished up the night, and we were walking home, and it was starting to rain, and we ran into this group of guys, and it was like our whole group of friends and these two guys, and they're talking to us about the weekend, and they kind of shared with me on what they saw. And I guess it was a lot different than what I saw. And I think sometimes it's easy as an athlete to be so caught up in all the things that didn't go the way you expected that you forget about all the things that went well and that you should be proud of. And that's a hard balance to find. So listening to these guys talk, they're like, you're like a wolf.
And then he was just talking about how a wolf is a leader, and they go their own way, and they can't be tamed or told what to do. And I feel like it all just kind of hit us. And then all of us just started howling. We're in the middle of a street. It's 2 a.m. in Madison, Wisconsin, and our whole group of friends is howling in the rain in the street. And I feel like that was just such a moment for all of us. It was a turning point for Scott. And from then on, it was like, all right, we're doing this again.
And it was just this moment where I just was like, I'm not alone in this. And there's so many people within my family and my group of friends, and even outside within the CrossFit community that are behind you. And I think that sometimes the journey does feel a bit lonely, because you're in here and you're doing things every day that are hard, and you're attacking weaknesses and things that just beat you down and spit you out. So this year we made it a goal to get together on Saturdays and work out. And I think that that's played a huge part in keeping me excited about training and keeping me just in a good, positive mindset for the year.
Put my favorite song on and just dance around a little.
It's not as fun to train when you're training by yourself. So I had actually, I don't even know if Scott knows this, but I actually texted our group of friends, and I was like, guys, we need to all get together. We need to work out. What are you doing this Saturday? Let's all get together and work out with Scott, make it fun. So we all got together, went through a workout, and when Scott writes workouts on Saturdays, it's just a long grind. And we're just ready for it. We're in it. We're like, yeah, we're here for you. Whatever you write on the board, we're going to do it. Maybe not as fast as you, but we're going to be with you. So that's kind of how our Saturday workouts started. And I think it is a break for Scott to kind of step back and have a little bit of fun with his training, with the people around him. And we just have a group of friends who really loves working out.
10 seconds! Sing it! 10 seconds!
That's good. You were nice and long with your legs too.
Good.
That's perfect.
Fee came into the gym back in 2014, so about 5 years ago, and she wanted to be a competitor. She wanted to go to regionals. That was step one, and I think as she continued to develop, we kept setting new goals. And I think, you know, for a lot of people that come into the gym, they tell me, I want to go to the CrossFit Games. And I say, okay, like, that's great. I'm excited for you. But what do we got to do first to get you there? And I think a lot of the times people want to go to the CrossFit Games, but they don't really want to do what they need to do to get to the CrossFit Games. And that's setting small goals to get to this long-term goal of going to the games. And Fee was someone who set those smaller goals and just kept checking them off. Each year she would accomplish a little bit more, and it started with her just going to local competitions and learning how to be an athlete and learning how to compete. And it went from that to going to regionals on our team, and then going to regionals as an individual. And then this past year, she qualified to the games.
Our goal was, okay, let's get to regionals on a team. We got to regionals on a team, and I feel like after that weekend, she like caught the competition bug. Like, this is cool. I want this feeling again. Next year, my goal is to qualify as an individual. She did it. She qualified as an individual. She had a lot of things going on during that time, and I don't think she put as much focus as she wanted to into training, and she will tell you that too. That was a weekend of, I feel like Scott and Fee are never satisfied. So I don't want to say she was disappointed, but I'll say she wasn't satisfied with how the end result was. And she has a picture in our coach's closet where all of our equipment is, and it's a picture of her on the floor, and she kind of is like hunched over, and you can tell she's upset with her performance. And that has motivated her since May of 2018 till now. She sees that picture every single day when she walks back there, and it's a reminder that she doesn't ever want to feel like that again, and she's going to do whatever she can in her power to never have that feeling again.
And I didn't want to just like, you know, get to regionals. I wanted to show up and actually like make a name for myself and, you know, walk away and people being like, whoa, like, watch out for her. And it didn't really come out in my favor. I got 32nd at regionals, and, you know, leading up to it, training got amped up and it was tough, but I think it was tough for me. I was struggling with time management. I was balancing being in school. I was also balancing working at Code Cairo at the time, a little bit more of a full-time position. So Monday through Friday I was there. And so my day, pretty much what my days looked like was I'd be working at Code Cairo. I would have my little gap lunch breaks. So if I was able to get in an hour of some kind of session, and I would drive here to Mentality, coach the noon class. I could get 1 hour, not even, maybe 45 minutes of another session. I would get changed. I would drive back to Code Cairo and just work until 6. And then I would drive back up to Mentality and finish training. So I was just like all over the place. Training wasn't as intentional. It was very rushed. But I was still experiencing a lot of the volume. And I wasn't recovering. So then on top of that, being a student, I was studying. I was doing homework until, 11, 12, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then having to do it all again the next day. So I think my performance reflected how the months leading up through training was, and it wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, but I learned so much. Well, that's why you shower, right?
Yeah. But guys sweat. Girls don't sweat. Guys, you sweat?
Scott downpours sweat, and I'm just like a little misty up top.
I don't sweat, I sparkle.
Okay.
And then 5, 5, 5, and see the difference between the three.
Interesting.
Right? Then you don't have any questions if something really like this to ever come up.
That's true.
If you're gonna hold on the first set.
Right. 3 ways to do bar muscle ups.
I was gonna make this one really hard on the first one, but I kind of want to see if I can do it. You know what I mean?
Might as well know.
Our goal is to see like if 15 bar muscle ups did come up and this workout came up, how would we break up the bar muscle ups? Because more time is actually made on the snatches. So if you can get on your bar and move through the snatches faster by breaking up your bar muscle ups, it's not about like who's better at one movement, it's about who approaches the workout honestly. Yeah, who approaches the workout in a more efficient manner for them. Because when you hold on to all your bar muscle ups, you wear on your pull, which is causing us to slow down on the bulk of the workout. So if this is a fourth of the workout and the snatches are 3/4 of the workout, then 3/4 of the workout we need to be moving, and this is more like a buy-in and kind of like our run yesterday. It takes time to develop all the skills and all the things that you need to be successful in the sport. And I think that Fee's put in the time and she's put in the effort, and now she's starting to take advantage of all the rewards that she's receiving from putting in that time and that effort. So I'm excited to watch her progress. Every day she's learning more, and she's kind of just tapping the surface of what she's capable of, which is pretty cool to see her at that age just doing what she's doing, and then each day getting stronger and smarter and more well-rounded. And I think that when she shows up to the CrossFit Games this year, she's going to be twice the athlete she was last year at that time. And if she continues to do what she's doing, I think she could be a household name at the Games. And I'm excited for her.
Scott tests her in the gym all the time. So if she's doing a workout that is a heavy snatch or a really high skill gymnastics movement, Scott will yell at Fee and be like, pick it up, get up there. And he tries to like put that pressure on her so she can resist it, because when she's on the floor, people are going to be yelling at her, telling her to pick it up, telling her to hop up on the rings, and she has to know her own body.
Come on, let's make this one pretty here. You gotta lock it in, and you gotta pull some authority. Let's go. Hey, there it is.
But the one thing that really, I think was a lot different from last year to this year, Scott, several months ago, I think it was back in August, like around this time in August, he goes, Fee, I know that you could get to the Games, and I believe in that, and I want to get you there. And this was months before the Open, months before anything really like picked up. He goes, I want you to start, amping up in training, getting on some more volume work. We're gonna keep setting those goals, and we're gonna get you to the Games. And that's how kind of that started, or that was different. And it's the mindset. I think believing and really trusting yourself that you could get to where you want to be is huge. I think before I just always doubted myself, saying to myself that, I'm not as good as the other girls because that girl has 10 years of gymnastics, and that girl comes from a division, she's a Division I swimmer, and she's a Division I elite runner, and I don't have that background. I just came from nothing. I could barely do a strict pull-up when I first started, and I'm always just playing catch-up. And in my head, I never thought that I could get there. But Scott believed in me more than I did, and that was huge. That was huge in this season. That's a fact.
We're gonna go, when we go shoulders, we'll actually do 100 feet, and when we do front, we'll only do 50.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
So we're getting
Right.
balance on both sides, 50 and 50.
And then we'll leave.
So then in the next round, you only go down and back, just holding it in the front rack, and then you'll get onto your bike and start the next round.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.